was mainly doing this for a research project, and I was like, holy shit. So, let's start off with my girl, Kathy. I love Kathy. I'm not going to lie. I have a crush on Kathy. Kathy Wood's bullish Ethereum prediction. Now, Kathy's with ARK Invest. Her offices are down in St. Pete. Oh, God, I need a vacation. I haven't been to the Berg in a while. Get my ass down there. Maybe I'll go to, I'm going to go the end of the month. I'm going to go down to ARK Invest offices and just, like, show up and be like, yeah, I'm here for Kathy. Like, just tell her to get her ass down here. I have a feeling I'd either go for a drink with her or get escorted up by security. All right. Anyways, the price prediction here. Okay, here's Kathy's because I wanted to start out with her, so it's pretty bullish. The current market cap of Ethereum is around 400 billion and has approached 5. Blah, blah, blah. The market cap of the S&P 500 is around 40 trillion. If ETH were to amass a capitalization of 20 trillion, the token price would be around $166,000 per Ethereum. That's Kathy's prediction. And I think she sees the 2032 by 20 trillion. So 2 years past where I'm going at. We're about to see a huge influx of money. And, let me show you where it's coming from, who's behind it, and the whys. And you can make your own decision. Okay, I'm just going to run you guys through this to try and go quick. House Week. I did this yesterday in my stablecoin video. That's a quickie if you want to check that one out. But I'm just going to run through this. Okay, the House announces the week of July 14th as Crypto Week. They're voting on the Genius Act. This is the stablecoin bill. The administration's made it a priority. Mr. Bissett, the Treasury Secretary, has made it a priority. Mr. Trump, our president, has made it a priority. They want to make crypto great again. Eleanor Tourette, this is from the 10th. The banking GOP is going to drop its structure discussion, next week after some additional refining. Meaning they got their shit together and they're going to get it in for Crypto Week. The House Ways and Means Oversight rescheduled its hearing on the 21st to Wednesday the 16th for Crypto Week. Seems like the brass may be leaning. Brass meaning Donnie and JD. Put this on the other video. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. I'm a fanboy of this guy. I'm not going to lie. He worked for George Soros. He's the hedge fund guy. And he made a trade, shorted the British pound. Trade ended up paying out $1 billion in one day. And then a year or two later, he did it on the Japanese yen. This man knows financial systems. He knows the levers. He knows how they work. Because he's been working on the other side of those levers in big finance for a long time. He's also got an ego. This is the guy that got into it with Elon in the Oval Office when the Trump administration first came in the White House. And he's just not taking no shit. Recent reports project stablecoins could grow into a 7 trillion market by the end of the decade. That's 4.5 years. Scenario becomes more likely with the passage of the Genius Act. The stablecoin bill will be signed by President Trump this month. A thriving stablecoin ecosystem, blah, blah, blah. Good for the dollar, good for government borrowing. The boss. Love him or hate him, we elected him. Fed rate should reflect this. We should be on the top of the list. Lower the rate. 3 days ago. Tech stocks. NASDAQ. All-time highs. Everybody's crying 2 months ago. Crypto is through the roof. Not even close yet, Donnie. You ain't been around long enough, bro. It's going to get there, though. U.S. taking in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs. Country is now back. A great credit. Fed should rapidly lower rates to reflect this strength. They're kicking Jerome Powell out. I believe he's being investigated. I'm pretty sure he's about to step down. He should have cut the rates. And you can make the argument him not doing it has been politically motivated because he cut him for the Biden administration going into the election. The tariffs are pouring money in. Love it or hate it. I'm not super political. I'm just following the money, guys. We got fresh cash coming in. Treasury Secretary has issued, that's Mr. Bissett, huge $2 trillion crypto prediction. There's Scotty B right there. And let's just see. Dollar peg stablecoins currently dominated by Tether's USDT and Circle's USDC could become a 10x to become a $2 trillion market in just 3 years, according to the secretary, who said he believes it could even greatly exceed that. Well, like I said, this man's been working on the other side of government economies. He knows how the levers work. He knows what to pull to make things go. As a Treasury Secretary, he has levers at his disposal that the Federal Reserve does not. Whether Chairman Powell steps down or not, he's under immense pressure to cut these rates. And on top of that, his term is up in less than a year, so he's going to be replaced anyways. And there's a lot of sketchy stuff going on over there in the Federal Reserve. So once we get a chairman in alignment with Mr. Bissett's and Mr. Trump's vision for the economy, I'm not trying to be too bullish on it, but this guy and Trump, whether you like it or not, they're pulling all the levers to make the economy pump, and they're driving for the next 4 years. Will it end well? Will it kick the can down the road? Probably. Okay, I'm not saying these guys are fixing anything, but what I'm saying is this man right here knows every single lever to pull, trick to play to make stock markets and the crypto markets soar for the next 4 years. I mean, come on. Ethereum stablecoin adoption surges as weekly users top 750,000 in June, the end of June in 2025. Let that sink in. There's 7 billion people in the world. I'm going to show you the Ethereum price in a minute. I'm going to get to my predictions, guys. We're over halfway through here. Stablecoin total market cap, 250 billion. Scott's looking at 3.7 trillion. Okay. So the Ethereum network, according to our Treasury Secretary, who's driving apparently the global economy now with Donny Boy, he's expecting 3.7 trillion plus. He's going to make it happen, folks. That's literally his job, is to make that happen. Take a wild guess. What the Trump's family's biggest crypto holding is? If you guessed Ethereum, you are correct. Here's another one for you. A staggering $7.4 trillion is now sitting in money market funds, making jack all interest rates at an all-time high. July 10th. There's $7.4 trillion in cash sitting in money markets, just waiting to be invested. Where's it going to go? I don't know. I bet a big chunk of it goes to Ethereum. Might even get staked for yield. The man at the helm of BitMine launches a $250 million Ethereum treasury. 7/8 a week ago. This is Tom Lee. He's a tech investor. He's very well known, and he is on CNBC all the time as an analyst. He's founder of Fundstrat, and BitMine put him on the board for the company's $250 million Ethereum treasury strategy. To run validators and get yield on Ethereum and nail the price prediction. Price appreciation, I'm sorry. What did that do to BitMine's stock? The stock of a small crypto miner soared 3,000%. 30x. In a week after they raised $250 million. Just let that sink in. Their stock 30x'd. 30x. July 7th. They're just talking about it more. They're following MicroStrategy's playbook and Ethereum's role in the stablecoin for its growth with a $2 trillion market forecast. You can do your own research on that because, well, back here, Scotty B, he's looking at bigger than that. Let's talk about the man himself, the President of the United States of America. $2.9 billion in crypto. Let that sink in. The leader of the free world. Him and his team are driving, trying to make America great again. However they're doing that, whether you agree or not. They think approximately 40% of his net worth is in crypto. If I had to guess, I'm going to say it's probably closer to 60, 70. And this isn't his personal net worth. This is his family fortune. His sons are doing these things, and they're doing it very publicly. Their biggest holding? Ethereum. Okay. I went a little long, but we're at the point where I gave you my prediction. Everything being said, and I got one last slide at the end that Ethereum 2030, RWA's real world assets coming onto chain. This is BlackRock and all their friends bringing all their money in. Now, BlackRock, Fidelity, all these big investment firms, right? Even insurance companies, they all invest in each other. Meaning BlackRock will take a 10% stake in Fidelity. Fidelity buys 10, 12% of BlackRock, and Merrill Lynch and so on, and JP Morgan. They all own a little bit of each other, enough to have a good amount of say, so everybody's on the same page when it comes to, global shit and taking over. But RWAs are coming. Tokenized assets, tokenized bonds, tokenized securities. BlackRock's already on it. The SEC and the legislation. Now, Crypto Week. Stablecoin bill brings on the stable coins. That's the cash and liquidity. Clear rules. Market structure, which I also touched on, that'll probably be signed by September, October, and that's just making basic rules. Once that happens, the big boys come in. They're all ready to go, but they need the rules of the road. They don't want to come in, make a ton of money, and then a new administration comes in. But give us the rules. We're ready to go, and that's the market structure part. So, they're going to have that this year. Trump and Scotty are in charge for the next 4 years on the economy. Whoever they get into the Federal Reserve, if Chairman Powell steps down and they do some ridiculous half point or full point or point and a half, some crazy cut, you're going to get a God candle on every big stock in the S&P 500. Crypto is going to go ridiculously to the moon. And just anybody that owns stocks, you're going to be rich. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Index stocks, everything will pump. His big, beautiful bill passed. That's all cash coming in to pump. Well, let me stay on topic. My bear case, 20,000. Base case, 50,000. Bull case, 100,000. My prediction, some piece, 80 plus to over 100. Depending on how things play out over the next few years, it could be significantly over 100. I'm going to touch that slide next. The bear case target, 20,000. Right now, there's about 30% of Ethereum staked out of the 120 million tokens. Now, Ethereum has a burn mechanism in it from EIP 155, and they've burned tons of tokens. When there are a lot of transactions on the Ethereum network, and I'm going to show you something in a minute that shows that. In the 2020 bull run, NFTs came out. And when these NFTs minting, gas costs to use the network, the price and network activity spiked through the roof. Why? The network's busy. Now, these networks have been scaling to make that better. But when the networks get busy, you can tip the validators to front run to get your transactions ahead in line. The validators start making extra money. The APYs, the yields go up. People have to buy Ethereum for gas, so on and so on and so on. The network's taking in a lot of money. If it's burning more, then they're minting to pay validators. You have a deflationary asset, and that's happened quite a few times. Now, if bear case is only $1 trillion in assets by 2030, Scott Bissett said he's expecting $2 trillion or more in the next 3 years. He said significantly more. He also said 3.7 trillion by the end, 2030, and we're going to get there in a second. So this estimation also takes into consideration that just like buying into each other, BlackRock, Fidelity, all these big institutions that are going to tokenize their assets and all their stuff for their customers, they've chosen Ethereum to do the majority. I'm not saying Ethereum will be the end-all be-all forever, but right now it's number 2. They have the best development team. They're early in. This is who they've chosen. This is who they're going with. The networks are upgradable. They'll scale to fit. Not saying something better, faster can't come along, but for right now, that's who they got. They're going to stake to secure the network. Total staked ETH goes up to 40%. In the base case, 50,000. The initial ETH is 30%. 2.5 trillion by 2030. Institutions are going to stake a little bit more because you're talking a lot more money now, and they're going to want to secure the network. Institutions stake 20%, brings it to 50% total staked. 100,000 on the bull case. 30% staked, institutions stake another 30. So you have 60%. Your float's only 40. And with all these transactions, the net new issuance is going to end up being 0 year on in. So no new tokens minted, more coming off the market to be staked. There's less float. Those tokens are used in DeFi and other things. Low float, price could go crazy. And that's with the 3.7 trillion by 2030. Let's go do some Moonboy math. This is what you came here for. Commodities, guys. Forget about tokenized stocks and assets. Nobody's talking about commodities, corn, oil, all the shenanigans that get traded on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. The DTCC is the settlement bank for the commodities exchange. I'm sure a lot of commodities will be traded on crypto because, hey, they want these traded 24/7 too. The DTCC clears $4 quadrillion per year. $16 trillion per day. Let that math sink in. If 10% of that action reaches Ethereum by 2030, 10%, that would be $400 trillion in settlements per year, or 1.6 trillion per day. Massive scaling L2 sharding. They're already working on it. Massive ETH burns. Heightened scarcity. Institutions would likely stake an additional 15 to 20% on top of our bull case, which was 60% staked. So now you're getting into a 75 to 80% of Ethereum staked, and this would push the ETH price to my reserve targets with the DTCC. My bear case goes to 50, base 150, bull 250, and this seems to be in alignment with Miss Woods. I don't know, guys. If you made it this far, what do you think? Drop me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. But yeah, I'm going to go with Miss Woods, and I'm going to say by 2030, be someplace between 150 and 250, provided there's no war, there's no black swans. I think a metric shit ton more money is coming than anybody thinks. Place your bets, kids.